What's going on YouTube? Pistol Pete here. As you can tell by the title, today I'm going to be talking about my favorite design slash blade shape. I love that ever since I saw the Blackjack Anaconda. That was my first time seeing that type of a design. I just love the look of that. Now, again, this is just because it's aesthetically pleasing to me, right? I'm not saying it's the best blade shape for a certain task like bushcraft or anything like that. I know there's better shapes and reasons and all that behind better blades. This is just strictly personal for me. Why it calls to me for some reason. Aesthetically, it's pleasing to me. It just looks badass. It's one of my favorite freaking blade shapes. And I guess not just me, because there's a lot of people that love this style blade as well. They even, if you saw Inglorious Bastards, they even made a Bowie knife with a elk antler handle for one of the main characters in that, Aldo Rain, for the movie, the same type of blade shape. And I'll show you that Bowie here. So let's get started. So I'm gonna start off with the budget one first. So this one here, guys, as you know, if you've seen my channel, I did a review on this, full hardcore, hard use review, chopping, batoning, feather sticking, all the bushcraft tasks. And this thing held up phenomenally. No issues with the edge, no nothing, no issues. I mean, look how thick that tip is for a budget Bowie. And mind you, guys, this Bowie here with that badass blade shape, my favorite blade shape, is 25 bucks. And you can get this at either Smoky Mountain Knife Works or Chicago Knife Works. They both have it for about the same price, 25 bucks, man. You cannot go wrong. And yes, I made another video because people are, oh, it's a piece of crap, it's not full tang. This is full tang. I took the handle off. It goes all the way down here and wraps around right here, all the way down here. So it's 100%, it's a hidden full tang, but it is a full tang. And as I showed you guys in that video, it's the same thickness as this, so which is pretty damn thick all the way down. And this is the MOV 13 CR, something like that. I forget the exact one, but it's a budget still. But they have the heat treat down, and it's just awesome. Awesome. I've never heard anyone complain about this and say it broke or anything like that. Super badass. For the money, you cannot, for 25 bucks, you're not going to get a better Bowie. You're not. It's going to be, this is like, sets the par. I mean, maybe even the Cisco Bowie maybe can keep up with it. But even that, the wooden handles are kind of blocky and they kind of break easy. This, I've done numerous things, even thrown this at the log, everything, and this handle's still comfortable. A big handle, if you have a big ass hand, or if you have a small hand, it's just still comfortable for either. It's just awesome. Awesome blade. Rough Rider. This one is the Rough Rider, if you guys want to know. And it's the RR2233. So that's the model number if you're interested in this Bowie. Again, highly recommend it. If you love the blade shape and you want just a beater Bowie that you can do anything with, this one is awesome. And it sharpens up super easy too. Let's move on. So this is the knife that they used in the movie Inglorious Bastards, but they just took off the handle. There's rumors, but it's kind of like, I think Cowboy Bebop pretty much proved it in his video on this. But it's this one here is the Smith & Wesson Texas Ranger Bowie. This one, this is the Texas Ranger, the one I have. I know they make 3 or 4 different styles, exact same knife, but just 3 or 4 different styles. They have one that's the Smith & Wesson Texas Hold'em, and they have just the Smith & Wesson Big Bowie. Exactly the same freaking knife, just different engravings, you know. This one here says designed by
Stuart Taylor.
I told you guys I picked this one up. I got a super good deal. It did have this like over polished area here. I don't know why someone did that, but I mean, whatever. I got a super good deal and I can't complain. Pretty thick Bowie, pretty bitchin'. Again, let's look it up against you can see the similarities there. It almost looks like this one may be a little bit thicker than a little bit wider of a blade than the Rough Rider. So this one's called the Black Mule Bowie by Rough Rider, by the way. I forgot to mention that. But very similar, and you can tell why I love that blade shape. Just awesome. So for that movie, going back to the point of the movie, they just took off this handle and threw on an elk handle on this one. Came out bitchin', super badass. Made it look all, put a patina on it, make it look old. Cowboy Bebop, though, he had pictures where it looks like they they rub this off, but you can faintly see Smith & Wesson on it. So pretty sure this is the Smith & Wesson buoy that they used, that they put that handle on. But some people argue different. For me, I have to agree with Cowboy Bebop. I think that is what they did. So moving on, I'd have to go to the Mountain Shining Buoy by Bark River. Now look at this one. This one is badass. This one here is just, I love it. I love it. Again, that same swooping blade design. Dude, this is A2 steel. Oh, I forgot to mention, the Smith & Wesson Texas Hold'em is actually 440C steel. So, you know, another budget one. Mind you, this went up in value quite a bit, though, just because they're hard to find. They are discontinued. So this one now is really hard to come by. So they raised the prices. But it was like, you used to be able to get these for like 30 bucks, 40 bucks. And now you're lucky to find one for under 100. Which I was lucky to find this one for under 100. It had some defects, but still not bad. So now going back to this one. This one's A2 still. Now you're getting to the more pricier stills. Bark River is known for having awesome quality. Just look at that. You can see that beautiful, beautiful elk antler there with that aluminum pummel. Just absolutely beautiful. This side here has the A2 steel with the Bark River stamping. There, that beautiful handle, and then you see how it kind of contours like that, the way the handle shape. Whoever picked this one out to make the handle, awesome job, because it just melts into your hand for that grip for this antler handle. Just beautiful, beautiful. And again, going back to the same blade shape, let's do it again. Look at that, same style blade. So this one here though was designed by Mike Stewart, and the last two I'm going to show you were designed by Mike Stewart too. So I'd have to say he's probably the one that came up with this first. Although this one's pretty old too, so I don't know who came up with it first. This one here says designed by Stuart Taylor. So I don't know if it was Stuart Taylor or Mike. You guys let me know if you know in the comments below who do you think invented this shape blade first. Because this one's fairly old too. I believe the Backyard Knife Dude said he got his back in the early 80s. So, and I know the Blackjack Anacondas were early 80s too. So I don't know who came up with it first, but I'm thankful they did. I love my favorite blade. Like I said, my favorite blade shape. Absolutely love it. So let's move on. All right. Now the ones I absolutely love, the ones that I fell in love with. Let's start with the small one first. This one here is the Blackjack Anaconda 1. And same thing, look at that beautiful blade swoop. This one, they've added a fuller. All the rest don't have fullers. They're just straight flat ground, but I do love the way the fuller looks. And the grinding work on this, just absolutely amazing. This is made of Oz 8 steel, which is awesome steel too, especially if it's heat treated right, like these ones are. Just beautiful. You can tell the quality of this. I love this guard. They got that steel guard in there. Just beautiful. And they have that Gryvex style handle. Feels good in the hand with that little bird's beak, which I do like that because the only one that has the bird's beak compared to all the rest of the ones are these Blackjacks. For chopping, so it doesn't fly out of your hand. It gives you good grip. And this is pretty tacky stuff too, so it gives you super good purchase. I mean, this isn't gonna fly out of your hand at all. That side just has the Blackjack Anaconda symbol. But again, that blade shape, awesome. All right, now last one. One I fell in love with since I was a freaking kid. I should say a young teen. Because I was looking at this when I was like 13, 14. Just couldn't afford it. This is the Blackjack Anaconda 2. This is the big boy.
This is the 10-inch blade.
But look how beautiful that is. Same thing. The grind work is just awesome. This was late 80s. Let's see if I get a picture of that. Or should get that in camera. Blackjack Anaconda 2. Oh man, I just love it. So it's pretty much just the bigger version of the other one, the Anaconda 1. Absolutely beautiful. This one came in mint condition. I picked this one up from Chris from Prepared Mind 101. He was selling it on Facebook, and I threw out a price. I didn't tell him, just shooting in the dark, seeing if he would take it, because I don't have that much money. I'm not a rich guy or anything. And surprisingly, he took it, the offer I gave him, and man, I'm thankful. Thanks, Chris, because he gave me a smoking deal on these. smoke. And you know, these usually, if you find them on eBay, scraped up, beat up ones, some missing cases, you can find them for around 200, 220, maybe 240. Mint condition with the cases and boxes and everything. Like this one came in the original sheath. You're looking 340, 350 up to 500. So I've seen some people post, and it's people that post for 500, they hardly sell. They don't sell pretty much, but all day long these sell for 340, 320. I see all the time. So I didn't pay nowhere near that. So thank God I got a super good deal on this. This was my all-time favorite buoy. Again, if you saw my Grail video in the last, this is one in my Grails. It's like one of the number one in my Grails. Absolutely love it. So let's see here. And this was Mike Stewart design. So you can see how, now I asked him on this and he told me, Mike Stewart himself from, I went onto the Bark River forum, or I should say the Bark River Facebook page. And he said that this Mountain Shining buoy it's a different design. He said it's not the same as the Blackjack Anaconda, you know, that he did. But I don't know, it looks very, very, maybe it's different, but it looks very similar to me. It looks like maybe the bottom portion here is a little bit slender than this one, but they're about the same thickness. So this one's a little bit thicker, the Bark River, a 1/4 inch, is a little under 1/4 inch. But the shape itself, other than the fuller, look almost the same. So I don't know, you know, but he told me, he said, no, he didn't make this one off of this one. It's not like a newer version or anything. It's a totally different style, he says. So, you know, whatever. I mean, to me, I love the shape. To me, they're very similar. Whether if there are different designs, they're very, very similar to me. And I love them both. Just freaking bitching. So, and again, here's the Smith & Wesson against that one. Let's see. Yeah, about the same. This one may be a little bit wider than this one. Let's see. Yeah, maybe no, maybe not. Maybe it's an illusion, but it looks like it might be a little bit wider. And then let's see it against the Budget Black Mule buoy by Rough Rider. Yeah, again, almost the same size, same thickness. Actually, the budget one looks a little bit thicker, but you could tell that where the quality comes is from the actual handle materials being used compared to this rubber. And then also you can even tell like the rivets and nuts they use look to be a better quality. And then of course this has a steel guard compared to this soft rubber guard. But again, this one, you're lucky to find it scraped up, beat up for under 200, or for, I should say, not even under 200, 220. Mint condition, these go for 350, 340, you know, like I said before, over 300, 25 bucks. 25 bucks, and this thing will do pretty much everything you need it to do. You know, I collect these knives, that's why I do, but if it was just for functionality, you can't go wrong with this thing, man, for 25 bucks. And like I said, I'm gonna do another video on smaller sidekicks because I like that. I wish more knife companies did that. Very few do, but how they made a small version of this. Same exact knife, just a smaller version. This is, like I said, this one's a 10-inch blade. This one I think is a 7-inch. I just wish they did that more often, you know, made a smaller versions, more knives. And I do have quite a few knives that have smaller versions of themselves, you know, and I think that's an awesome idea to make that, you know, I think they should do it with almost all knives because people like both, you know. You have, even if you can go even 3, that'd be awesome. Have like the big, huge chopper for chopping down trees. You got the mid-size for, you know, any type of task, smaller logs, things like that. And then you got your EDC, smaller one for bush, you know, close quarter bushcraft, for feather sticking, for carving, for doing your fine work. I think that would be awesome to have 3 different freaking exact same knife, just 3 different sizes. I think people would love that. I think they would sell more if they did that. But very few knife companies do that. Very few that I've seen. But I would love to see, you know, there's so many. I would love to see smaller versions like Bark River. If they made this exact same one but in a smaller version, I'm almost positive they would sell a bunch. Positive. The only company I know that's been doing that, and because they're awesome and they're my favorite, is my boys at Work Tough, man. Work Tough, dude. Like I said, Vic Lynn over there, man, the main man, he listens to his customers. He makes They always make smaller versions. They either they make EDCs or they make they'll make even bigger ones. You know, like I know they have a few different ones that are just like I said, they have 3 or 4 different sizes of the same knife, and to me that's freaking awesome. That's awesome. And they'll change things here and there in the knife, but basically it's the same knife, but they change it to accommodate what the knife is going to be meant for, which is cool. So I mean, they update it, you know, because there's certain things you won't need on the huge knife that you might need on the little knife, and vice versa. So they design it to the task, even with the knife being similar in look, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, guys. So, like the title says, this is my all-time favorite knife shape or design. Has to be these designs, man. I love these the blade shape. Matter of fact, I love it so much. I'm having one custom made, a knife from a knife maker. So, that's this shape here. So looking forward to getting that in, but won't be for a few months. But man, awesome. I'd love to add to my collection. All right, YouTube. And until next knife or whatever.